Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here among you all. It's a privilege to be here in TESOL Arabia for me for the first time in my life, and I'm really honored to have you all. And my presentation is going to be about using technology to help students with dyslexia. It's very common that students are, wild word, increasing about having, as you see, just a sec. Yeah, here we are. Dyslexia. Let's speak about first dyslexia. Dyslexia is a kind of phenomena or a condition, let us say a cognitive condition that affects the brain's learning centers, resulting in lots of symptoms. One of them is reading, and it goes by 3 levels. The level of words, which combining the letters to form a word, and also then matching and let us say defining the word with the picture. Also on the highest level, which is comprehending the whole passage. So it's difficulty forming words, difficulty or trouble reading and processing visual information, also difficulty in demonstrating comprehension materials. This has been so much trouble or challenging when you are dealing with such kind of students. Disabled students or dyslexic students needing a lot of time, needing a lot of patience to work with. And yet it needs time, patience, but it's very rewarding. You find that the students are really dealing with you, working with you, very happy to acknowledge something or to know something or to be able to do something. This is quite irreplaceable or a kind of a something that fulfilling for yourself as a teacher. The students will have just as much as well an energy to get to know more information, just like the healthier students. All what you need is to do much effort. All what you do is to exert more effort, give time, then you'll see a rewarding that you will never imagine. Such kind of thing, the students also do a bit slower than the others, like writing, reading, connecting dots. And the problem is, once a student or a child has a dyslexia, he will also face some kind of dyscalculia. He will not be able to write as well. Sometimes he will face some kind of trouble with listening. So it's not only one disability. Once you have one, you will have one level or two of the others. It doesn't mean that they are incapable of following your lecture. No, they just can do it, but in a longer time and need much effort, as I just said before. So the first step to do it, even before you start to use any technology or think of any technology or kind of a PC or whatever, is to start to talk to your students. What I mean by talking to students is to get to know them, get to know their disability, get to know what level are they in. Are they in the first level? Are they in the second? Are they in the third? Is it only connecting the dots? Is it only get to know that the word or familiar with the words and the picture of it or the meaning of it? Is it only how to read it, the level of the form of the word or the sentence or the comprehensibility of the whole passage? So before you start or to begin your lecture, you start to talk to your students to know what their level is. The key in implementing any sort of new technology in the class or teaching methods is first to understand the context of their disability. If one student has trouble with listening and another has a trouble with reading, now you need to combine both of them or to find some kind of technology to combine this problem or to solve this problem with the others, only to focus on the dyslexia and leaving the listening problem or the dyscalculia or the writing one, because once they have, as I said, once they have one problem, it goes without saying that he will have another. If he cannot read, he cannot write. If he cannot listen, he cannot speak. It's very common. So the best way to prepare for teaching students with dyslexia is to adjust the material in question or two in their individual needs. You need to know what the students need, what is their ability, how to focus, how to get into the students' disability and get whatever best from them. The way you can monitor the process, how to know the personal level, how to guide them to complete their task in the best possible way, even if you are going to spend more time with them. Talking before you do anything is a key. So make sure that you don't rush it and have plenty of patience ready to dyslexic learners. The learners themselves could face what we can challenge. I'm tired of it. I don't want to do it. That's it. It's burden on me. I don't want to do it. So you have to just find a way to encourage them, to motivate them to do it and go on. And you can do that by using the technology. So reason for using technology, that they feel independent, that they feel that they can know certain things, they can do it by themselves. They don't need anybody to guide them. Now, once I know it, once I can able to do it. So little children, as everywhere now, likes to use technology, whether it's games, whether mobiles, whatever they are doing. So again, technology enables the students to build a strong content knowledge wherever they find it. Technology responds to the varied demands of audience, task, purpose, discipline. So they are not only teaching them how to read and write and touch kind of skills for language, no, but it also goes into much deeper than that. Differentiate from the needs of students from one to another. Everyone is using his technology or PC or computer or mobile far as he can get the way he needs. Technology gives equal voice. So I have one base, or I have one thing or technology to do it. The same thing is with the next to me. They don't vary whether it's the social standards or their own disability. Okay. As we start to use technology, normally certain questions start to pop up when using them with dyslexic students. Are they going to do it? Are they going to love it? Are they going to be frustrated? Is it going to help? Is it going to be motivated for them? How to do it? What kind of things I can do to make the students want to use it, want to learn, and get to more, let us say, information. When you are eager to learn something, I want more. This is I love about the students, especially if they are dyslexia. Technology in the classroom. So if we start to speak about what kind of a technology you are going to use, there are different things, and of course varieties already there, wild word. But the most common ones with the dyslexic students is audiobooks, YouTube, of course the social media, which we can say YouTube, Twitter, and this kind of things. But each one, we have to start to question if we are going to use that, what kind of things we are going to use. For example, audiobooks. A common way of accessing books in addition to or in replaceable of actual reading. But the question would rise, are the students going to hear it only, or are they going to watch and hear? Is it different from reading? Is it going to be I'm reversing reading into listening? So how does hearing a book from a recording differ from reading it oneself? Now, it looks like if I am transferring the skill of reading into the skill of listening, which is not required. So we need to find some way to watch the word, learn it, and listen to it in the same time. Okay, another way, which is the YouTube. YouTube, of course, as everybody knows, the world's largest archive of videos. More than half of the world, or 1 billion videos, are viewed daily. But again, is it gonna help them? Is it gonna make the students see themselves and see it before it and repeat it again? How that would change the attitude of the students? Again, how that going to help the dyslexia students? They are transferring again the reading into listening or watching. They are using the other senses. So questions are there a lot. We need to know how or does this change the way students receive the information and entertained or get to personal the media or consumptions. Electronic notes, which is very, very useful in the dyslexia students. This is one I truly prefer because now once, as I said, you have a dyslexia, once you will have one level or two levels or the three levels of dysgraphia, they will not be able to jot down the notes. If they need to take some notes or they need to write down after the teacher, there will be a problem. So with electronic notes or what we call audio notes, it is also very, very helpful. Why? Because it can be recorded on tablet application instead of a pen and paper. How does this reshape the way students record notes? What difference contributes to how they interact with the information they are recording? So again, it raises the questions, how is it going to help? As I see it from my own point of view, that, or my research is showing that students need to turn it or to see the words and with they are reading, they need to hear it. So if they can read it, they know, for example, let me give an example. For example, the word she, okay? If the students have only the first level, which is combining the letters together to form a word, now he will see it as a bulk, S-H-E, and it's she. He will start to watch it, see it, hear it. He will do what? Combine the word with with what he's seeing, okay? And that would help in lots of ways. Okay, let's move to the second point, which is how Facebook, Twitter, social media would help. Of course, let us say everywhere we go, every child, adult, teenagers, and doing it, tweets, Facebook, their students tend to be much more savvy with their, or practical with the digital communication tools than adults. But the problem is it going to affect their grammar, their reading, the way they speak, how the language is going to be affected with their, as we say, language is going to be affected with this, okay? Especially if it does affect the adult people, how is it going to affect the dyslexia people? Okay, text-to-speech technology in classroom. And this is what I used in my research. This technology or this is software, it's wild word, it's very open, it's don't need a license to be used, you can use it online, and it's very helpful with the students. It's a great tool. Everybody can adjust the lessons you are teaching to dyslexia learners. Like we are mentioned before, dyslexia makes learners slower than usual, meaning that some tasks can harder to them than to the most. By using text to speech or vice versa, as I said, speech to text, you can help some students hear the material instead of reading it. And also it helps others to read it instead of listening to it. But the problem is, which is not a big problem, the speed. And I could help that, or I could found a solution for that with the speed of the speaker, because some of the software or the online text-to-speech technology already online would gives you a real speaker, not only a computer who starts speaking, and in the same time it gives you the speed. Is it you need normal? You need to speed up to speak faster, or to like less, or make it slower. And not only with one or two, no, you can make it like that. Text to speech and repeat and rewind, and these kind of things is really very helpful, especially if you can combine it with a picture. And this is what I used. Okay, we should keep in mind that you you need to adjust the base of your teaching. Are you going to start from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top? Are you going to get the whole picture first, or you get the details, then move into the whole picture? Everything will go a bit slower, yes, but it's very rewarding because the students usually knows that the person in front of him or the teacher is exerting effort. And once the students know that the person in front of him is giving him his time, his effort, he wants to see he simply falls in love with you. And this is what we need. Once the students appreciate what you're doing for him, he will do as much as you are asking to be best or get better, to make you happy, especially children. Okay, auditory notes. Auditory notes, it's not that surprise, but it's very helpful. If you let your students use auditory note software, it might just be the thing you need, because they need to follow up with you. They need to connect dots. They need to write. And the problem is, as I said, dyslexia, one part or second or two with dysgraphia, and they cannot do it. So if you let them do the auditory notes, they simply speak to the notes and do it, jot it down. Instead of jotting down with pen and pencil, you will find it that he can rewind it, he can remember it better than the healthier one. Dyslexic people sometimes have trouble jotting down notes or even writing more complex notes when listening to what you have said. Once they do it, once they can hear themselves again, and guess what? When I listen to myself speaking, oh my God, simply do what? Oh, I should have done that in that way. I should have said that. Self-correction. You just make the students, yet in a very young age, is correcting himself. You can alter this by giving them an option to use a tool such as even notes. Note is a very good tool to help them or to let them you quickly, efficiently to take notes, not to lose a single letter. Okay. By using such kind of a software with dyslexic students, you will also promote a good relation with other participants in the class who will also want to use the tool. And here, that if you are in a mixed class, not a whole class which is dedicated for dyslexia. And that's what usually we do here in Egypt. You will find the dyslexic students next to a very genius one, next to a poor one, a moderate one. This mixed students or this mixed class would frustrate the dyslexia or those students who are suffering from what we say problems or disability in different ways. So we simply say about them they are shy, they don't want to participate. No, they are having problems, and once they have tools to do it or a way to do it, the other one, the hoster, would be wanting to do the same. Or that, you know, it might sound like this will interrupt you, okay, but that will not happen. Why? Because it's simply they will jot notes, jot things, start to speak to themselves or putting certain notes for themselves, and they can rewind it not at the same time but in another time. After all, as I said, you provide them with a very useful tool that you can make their lives much better and easier. The next step is, after you know the students, talk to them, know their level, know their disability, know where they stand up. After deciding which one you are going to use, whether audio books, Facebook, the social media, the text-to-speech books, or whatever, you have to take your material and adapt it. You need to adjust it. You need to start to think, how am I going to start? Am I going to use it or teach it the way I'm teaching the normal students, or I am going to simply adjust it and start from another point? It's a very good idea to make all your studying material in a part of cohesive whole. That means all your lessons, text, assignments should be thought and named in a structured way, helping the students orient themselves better. You can do that by using many of services online. This one of speak normally, I can say it, or dissertation.com. It's very good one. And that's a one I used it. Sure, they that makes your text and written content are adapted to whatever audience you are working with, not only dyslexia. Students have trouble with adjusting the new and the unfamiliar things, so making this process easy for them to essential. Another thing is to help them focus on the process of learning and studying instead of familiarizing them with the new tools, because it's very easy to be used. It's one button or two buttons or simply hearing. Throwing in simple and straightforward memory exercise is a very important with dyslexia. So once you are having to adjust your lessons, you have to design a lot of certain exercises that refresh their memory and use them. Most of the time at the beginning of the lesson, at the end of the lesson. It's a very useful technique or very useful exercises to be able to them memorize, or to remind them every now and then what they have taken, what they are doing. They need it. Okay. One thing that we all forget, built-in options. Built-in options is already there. It's already, we don't need to go online, we don't need to go search for software to download and these kind of things. It's already in our own computer, in the PC or Macs or laptops or whatever. But because we are familiarized with it, we are just thinking that it's not for use, but it's very useful for the dyslexia students, especially making the size, the font, the color, the text-to-speech, which is already built in the Office, Word Office. It's very normal for us, but for them, it's not. Okay. Also, it's a very now standard mouse. You know, this mouse is very keyboard. You can very simply use it, and that will not be that only move it like that or moving the cursor. For them, it's not going to make a lot of effort. We make sure that the students are comfortable with the idea of using the computer first. Then we move from the computer to the tablets. Then we move from the tablet to the mobiles. Even web browsers are accustomed to help people with needs such as dyslexia and others. Open source software. And this is very encourageable or open for everyone, which is open source soft, free and open source, FOSS. You can use it with mind mapping, screen overlays, text-to-speech or speech-to-text, and it doesn't need any other license or something, authorization, or to pay money for it. It's very common. Okay. As I said, it's restricted, not restricted by license. Okay, let me give you an example of one of the software. Okay, here is one. As you see, this is what we call naturalreading.com. We simply have a button here, as you see, dyslexia font. Once you put it, you make the font bigger. You can make it a color if you want. Here, I can move it more and more and more or less, as you see. Okay, here, this button. Okay, I can make it so they can see it. Now, this is not already there. Okay, so I can simply base any kind of passage for the students. Then here, what kind of speed they need to listen with. Okay, 0 is the normal one. 1, it's a little bit faster. 2 is more and more. But of course, dyslexia students doesn't need that. So once I will start with number 3, -3. So it's not the normal one, but it's slower. Maybe -4 also. That will be much better. Then we simply, they can hear, they are children. So let us say, let's play.
Ben works on a farm. He grows corn.
As you see, each time he's going to read a line, at the bottom of the screen, it will highlight every word and you can rewind it again. It is complete.
Ben works on a farm. He grows corn.
So again, I can do it again and I can make it repeated. Okay, I can make it slower, I can make it faster. Okay, and in the same time, they can see every word that has been said. It's highlighted for them. Okay.
Ben works on a farm. He grows corn. He grows peas. He grows carrots.
I can start with questions. I can ask them. I can repeat whatever they are. I can repeat as many times whatever they hearing. So they are reading, they are hearing in the same time. Then the students are going to yell what kind of answers they are saying. Let us see. Okay.
He grows peas. He grows carrots. Questions. 1. Where does Ben work?
Again.
He grows peas. He grows carrots. Questions. 1. Where does Ben work? A. On a farm. B. At a store. C. At a park. A. On a farm. B. At a store. C. At a park.
So I waited for the response of the students and they're simply going to say A or B or C. They are not going to read it, all of it. So one step is to say A and B and C. Then I repeated again the question and they are hearing it and so on. They can repeat the whole sentence and we keep on going like that.
A. On a farm. B. At a store. C. At a park. 2. What kind of food does Ben grow? A. Flowers. B. Vegetables. C. Animals.
I can make it normal, for example, like that. Now that was -4 and this is the normal speed. And here we go.
A. Flowers. B. Vegetables. C. Animals.
So it's not only that I can use them with the dyslexia students, but I can adjust it to simply goes with the normal ones. And that was the presentation, and I hope that, thanks a million for attending. This is for my email for further contact or any information. And if anybody wants to question, I'm ready. I'll stop sharing, or should I leave it for a while? Hello? I'm muted.
You can leave it.
Okay, I'm leaving that.
A minute, no problem.
Okay. If there is any question, I'm ready.